A very good morning everybody, and thank you very much indeed for joining me here once again on the stream. We're broadcasting live out of the UK, twitch.tv with Tim's a Pilot, and we've got a great flight today, something totally different, an area of the world I'm unfamiliar with and not really flown in very much, to be honest with you. We're on the map view, we're on the flight simulator setup page for a flight. And today, a very interesting route from Echo Sierra Golf Golf, which is Landvetter, Gothenberg in Sweden, up in the Scandinavian part of Europe, and then across to, on a heading westbound today, Echo November Bravo Romeo, which is Flesland, Bergen in Norway, out on the coast. Real world weather, so we'll check that very quickly. 10:04 local time. 25th of June 2026. It's real world weather is set as well. As you can see here, we've got live traffic, live weather and time. So that's the weather sorted. Quick look at the route. So here we are, runway 03 in Gothenburg, and we're going to be departing today on a Lab 3 Mike off runway 03. I'll show you that route now. There's our departure, northeast turn after departure, taking us up to Laban, which is our departure, then a northwesterly track, Zenta, Repku. They're just two waypoints in between the departure and arrival, which I'm going to have to put into the FMC momentarily. They may already be in there, we'll have to check that when we're in the aircraft. And then tracking across southern Norway. Incredible scenery around here, guys. You can see the snow-capped mountains still. Then to Aluva, which is the arrival into Flesland Bergen today. The Alov 3 Papa is the specific arrival, and we're looking at an ILS 35 runway 35 Whiskey today on an ILS approach. That takes us out over the sea, tracking us back in with a number of waypoints, Auckland, and then a number of turns, and then a due north turn, and then that brings us in on the Whiskey ILS, which is this magenta line now, right down onto the runway 35. The views in Bergen, I can tell you before, it's an airport I've flown into a couple of times, but you know, not very many, are absolutely spectacular. It's a nice clear day for flying. We'll check the weather when we get into the sim, but without further ado, guys, that is our route today. Looking at a 55-minute flight and a distance of 389 nautical miles on today's route. Today, have a quick look at the aircraft. Let's go back here before we go into the hangar, and there she is, the Saudi Arabian Airbus A318-100 CJ CFM Legacy. Beautiful piece of machinery, an absolute classic now, well, it's known as in this day and age. So there she is, guys, all prepped, ready in the hangar. Let's go flying. Just check our altitude today. In the cruise we are looking at 41,000 feet, and let's hit the fly button and get going. Don't forget, even though we're live on twitch.tv and it's Tim's a Pilot with you, you can also catch up on all of the content that's streamed live here on the channel via Jetstream TV UK on YouTube. If you haven't before, pop along there, do the usual stuff, give us a subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. Give us a like on the videos, or a dislike. And always your feedback and comments are much appreciated, and I always look forward to reading them. So thank you very much indeed for your company and your time and your efforts. It really is appreciated. Just do a quick few checks on the FMC once we're in the aircraft, make sure that we're configured for departure, and without further ado we'll get underway. So here we are at Landvetter, Gothenburg in Sweden. Looks like a lovely morning, very little cloud around, just some hazy cloud off in the distance. And there's our aircraft. God bless you. written on the nose. Very nice. As we taxi to the active. Okay, so here we are in the aircraft now. We'll just do a few modifications like we always do. We'll get the PFD brightened up. Get the 1 second. And let's get the VS set for departure. Initial climb out today. Let's have a look at the FMC and then we can figure that out. Init ref 410, that's fine. Cost index is 100, that's fine. Departure and arrival airports. Flight number 318, Saudi 318. Okay. Just out of curiosity, guys, in the comments, does anybody know what the official call sign is for Saudi Arabian Airlines? I could Google it, but I'm screen recording on my phone, so yeah, hit me up, let me know. Excuse me, guys. Frog in the throat. I'm sure you all look forward to these live streams, hear me coughing and spluttering. So the flight plan, here we are, and we're just going to follow that down. We've got a Laban there, Zenta, Repku, they are already in, that's fine. Iluva, that's our arrival. Genvu, Oklan, Decel, Ripip, Adarvi, and runway 35. That's it, it's all good. Flight plan the same, what it should do. Let's just look at the cruise. Okay, so we need to be at 10,000 feet by Laban, which is our departure today. That's fine. Let's go back up to the top. Okay, everything's good there. Bear with me. Go initially 10,000 feet. And we'll get the seatbelt signs on. No smoking signs are on. Make sure all our lights are on. Strobes, wing lights, beacon, nav and logo lights on. Taxi turn lights, landing lights on. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, guys, ready for departure. We'll just check our wing views. Nose cam, always do this, go the wrong way around. Them buttons are configured wrong for the cameras, but there you go. So our flaps are set for departure. We're all ready to go here on the ground at Gothenberg. And ready to go. Check the external camera view. Controls going mad on their own. It's okay, fix that. Lovely day for flying, it really is. Okay, power's coming up. Engine stabilised, parking brake deactivated and rolling. Knots. V1. Rotate. So positive rate. Gears coming up. Throttling back to 75% N1. Autopilot's going in. speed set to managed. And we'll get them flaps in now. Okay, 2,600 feet set for the VS. Autopilot 1 is in command, flight directors 1 and 2, and auto throttle engaged. Speed mode is set to managed. Heading direct to Laban now, which is our departure today. We are on the A318 and we're 35 nautical miles inbound. Looking at the local time now, 22 minutes past 8 AM in the morning here in Gothenberg, Sweden. Ground speed of 279 now and increasing, with a 20 knot crosswind from left to right at 302. We need to be at Labba for 10,000 feet. As soon as we reach Labba, we'll release the passengers and then we'll continue our climb up to cruise flight level 410 today, 41,000 feet. Just get rid of the lights, we don't need them anymore. Get them back in for arrival. Line the lights off. Runway turn lights are off and the taxi lights are off. Coming through 7,000 feet for 10 now. Lovely clear day for flying. We've got some hazy cloud there on the horizon which looks like it's beneath us at a low level, so nothing to trouble us in any which way, shape or form. Here we are now with around about 50 nautical miles to run up to Labba. We can release the passengers and continue our climb. ATC have just given us clearance to climb up to flight level 210 after Laban, so we'll be inputting that into the I forget that top panel. What's the name of that top panel? It's PFD is primary flight display. I forget the name of that top one. Throw it in the comments, guys. I'm sure I'm getting Alzheimer's. So yeah, up to Laban and then a left-hand turn north-westerly up to Zenta, which will then take us out over the ocean across Repku. Might be able to get views of Torp Airport at Sandsford, however they say it. Okay, so yeah, nice and clear, lovely conditions for flying today. As we're just catching the sun there directly above us, just glistening off the little rivers, lakes and ponds that we have down there beneath us on our departure out of Gothenburg, Sweden. Just pan down a bit so we can see that a bit better. 16 miles to run now, nautical miles that is, guys. The knots of wind have picked up ever so slightly, 25 knots from left to right, just nothing to trouble us. Ground speed at 299. So we are at 10,000, we'll release the passengers now before we make our turn. And flight level 210. The auto throttle doing its thing as we climb up to 210. It's quite flat, this region of Sweden, to be honest with you. There isn't much high ground at all, but you will notice as we come closer to Norway, especially after we've tracked out over the sea and then come back inland, you'll notice that the terrain will begin to change very rapidly before we descend down into Bergen. Actually a lovely aircraft, this one. I don't think I've flown this before. Well, now we've got weather. So we could have weather in Norway, guys, for the arrival, which will make it even more interesting. It will make the approach very nice, and especially it's going to be aesthetically pleasing with some lovely fluffy clouds on the way in, with spectacular scenery on the west coast of Norway as we track in over the sea and then turn back in overland and make a number of left-hand turns down for the runway. It should be very, very nice indeed to see. Okay, that's us. That's our departure finish now. The Labba 3 mic is behind us as we track left, heading northwest now to Zenta and then Repku, which will take us out over the ocean. And we'll increase our altitude now, 33,000 feet. Air traffic control has just told the first officer. Saudi 318 climbing to flight level 330. Set and running. Increase our rate of ascent to 3,000 feet per minute, guys. "20 minutes into the stream. Thank you very much indeed again for joining us here at Tim's a Pilot live on twitch.tv, and of course the content, so you don't miss a trick, is going to be uploaded to Jetstream TV UK. Please, if you don't already, give us a follow. Give us a subscribe if you could. Give us a like on the videos. It always helps, and it's just great to know and get the feedback that you are enjoying the content that I am creating for you. And of course, always great to read your comments. It really is. So I'd just like to thank you once again for your company on this flight today up to Bergen in Norway from Gothenberg, Sweden. And as always, I will talk you through our route and exactly what we're doing here in the flight deck to get you from A to B safely. Thank you. Climbing through 18,000 feet now as we track northwest. Let's just have a look at some of the views around the aircraft. Okay, 330 is set in the cruise now. Oh, we're climbing to 330, I should say, 21,000 feet passing now. Climbing 3,000 feet per minute. Speed is at 300 knots, and we're tracking Zenta on 293, 48 nautical miles inbound. Current local time is 8:33. Is that right? Not too sure if it is, but we'll go with it for now. 53 knot headwind, bang on the nose, guys. We're only doing 356 miles per hour on the ground speed right now, so that's not great with a headwind all the way up to Norway by the looks of things. Let's not worry about that. And there's a ATC once again, Saudi Arabian Airlines 318, climbing flight level 410. So we've been given clearance up to our cruise altitude of 41,000 feet. Now that's in. We'll have that 3,000 feet per minute on the climb. So once we're up in the cruise, we can sit back, relax. Cabin crew will be going about the business now, serving the lovely passengers food, drink and refreshments, and we're just looking at things, and we'll start to begin the calculations for our descent very soon, guys, once we're in the cruise. So until then, I'll leave you with some ASMR, nice relaxing views, chill out, enjoy the flight. I'll be back to you very shortly. Got an aircraft off on our right hand side there. I wonder where they're off to today. Quite nose high here because we're still ascending 410. Just hitting some turbulence here in the various levels as we climb up to 410. Aircraft looks like on a similar track to us, heading in the same direction, just off to our right hand side. We'll keep an eye out on them. Just go to the nose cam quickly, and there is our aircraft. Let's just tilt to the right slightly, give us some zoomage. Yeah, he's miles away, nothing to worry about there. And there you can see now, guys, we're about to track out over the ocean. flight level 320, still climbing, flight level 410 for the cruise. It's actually coming straight across the nose of the aircraft, guys. We're quite close here, let's just have a look. A little bit closer than I thought, to be honest with you, but no threat, no issue there. Should see him zip past our... There he is. No problem there, he's about 1,000 feet to 2,000 feet above us. Contrails just fly over the top of the aircraft now. I was quite close, to be honest with you. It's a good job I kept my eye on it. But no conflict at all, no alarms, bells and whistles going off in the cockpit, which is always a good thing. And off he goes to wherever his destination may be, or their destination may be, should I say. Some lumps and bumps here, we're okay, nothing too severe. We don't need to get the seatbelt signs on. We'll let the passengers roam around and do what they need to do behind us. Half an hour now into the stream. Thank you very much indeed for your company, guys. Jetstream TV UK on YouTube. Tim's a pilot here live broadcasting from the UK on twitch.tv. Thank you very much indeed for your company and your support. It looks like we've left some of that weather behind. Nice and clear off down in the south. Track out over the ocean. Nice and clear. We do have some hazy clouds off in the distance. There may be some weather in Norway, we'll check that soon. Okay, so we'll just do some checks for Bergen. Another aircraft coming from left to right, we'll have a look for them in a minute. We've also got one directly coming in by the Repku waypoint. We're heading direct Zenta now, so we'll have just keep our eye out for them aircraft. There's only two that could potentially be a threat. This one I think will be in front of us by the time we get to Zenta. We'll keep our eye out on this one at Repku. Yeah, he'll have well passed us by then. Okay, so up to Bergen. Let's just check. It should be at sea level, to be honest with you, because it's next to the ocean. We'll just check the 156, so it's sea level pretty much, guys. So we're looking at around about 2,000 feet on the approach. That's fine. Fleshland, Bergen, Norway. Right, where's that traffic? There he is. You can just see his lights off in the distance. Go to the nose cam, pick him up. Yeah, going from left to right as predicted. You can just see his strobe lights and the contrails appearing behind the aircraft now, much lower than we are, so that's fine, no problem at all. Let's see if we can see the other aircraft that's coming in. Oh, he's way off to our left hand side, that's fine, no issue there. There's the other aircraft that we've just looked at, he's heading due north. Nothing else traffic wise we need to worry about. Nothing is crossing our path anytime soon. Now we've got approximately 200 nautical miles now to run as we reach the waypoint Zenta, and then a slight left turn to Repku over the ocean. Yeah, there we have it. left hand turn now to Repku. There's that traffic off on our left hand side now. There they are, out over the ocean. No threat whatsoever to us, guys, no threat at all. Miles away. $36,000 feet still climbing now for flight level 410. Oh, excuse me guys, just glugging on some H2O. Absolutely sweltering here in the UK in the midst of a heat wave. Around about 30 degrees last night. Luckily I had a high powered fan blowing all over myself, lay on top of the sheets in bed. That's the only way I could actually manage to get any sleep at all. Absolutely ridiculous. The hottest day ever recorded in June in the UK yesterday. Not far off 40 degrees. Which is a heat we simply aren't accustomed to or made to deal with or handle. But I'm not complaining. I'd rather that than shivery, piss freezing weather that we have 90% of the time here in the UK, so I'll take it while it's here, guys. I'll take it while it's here. 37,000 feet now, still climbing at 3,000 feet per minute. We should be at our cruise altitude within the next 5 minutes or so. So without further ado, we'll stick the nose cam on. Not much to see out over the ocean. Just leaving the landmass of Sweden behind us now as we track across to Norway. Check the map. And the FMC actually, very quickly. Right, so Aluva is our arrival. Auckland. So we need to be at 14,000 feet by Genvu. We'll work on that because that might be because of some high ground on the way in. Genvu, then 10,000, 9,000, 8,000 at Iblir, 3,000 feet by Idava, right, so a gentle descent there. There's probably some high ground around the airport, so we'll keep a close eye on that. So what we'll look at is, you see, I don't understand why it does this, guys. Can you explain it to me? Because this flight plan obviously is pre-generated from Flight Simulator. So our arrival today is the Aluva 3 Papa, and it's saying we need to be at 9,000 feet there by that waypoint, but then back up to 14,000 at Genvu. It just doesn't add up. You just wouldn't come down and then come back up again. Very, very weird indeed. So we'll ignore that Aluva one and we'll go 14,000 feet or 13,900 at Genvu, and then a gentle descent to Auckland to 10,000. Then we'll get the passengers sat down as will be on our arrival. So we'll look at Genvu for 14,000 and we'll make our descent based on that. 14,000 Genvu, let's remember that one. Let's just get the map up. Okay, so there is Genvu out on the coast. So I'm thinking from 410, got a nice long lake here, which we'll see quite easily from the aircraft, and I think that'll be our point of top of descent, and we'll bring the aircraft down gradually to be 14,000 feet by Genvu. And that's fine. We've got aircraft coming across the track but nowhere near us. Okay, all is good. Round about 10 minutes from top of descent, guys, so we'll just chill out, have some ASMR for a little bit now, and I'll bring you back when it's time to descend the aircraft. Checking on the speed, they've increased the rate of ascent to 3,500 feet per minute. We are going quite slow at the moment, around about 190 knots. But it's slowly creeping up to 410. We're at 39,000 at the minute. I might just keep us at 39,000 feet, to be honest with you. We'll do that because it's just going to be fiddly otherwise. Right, that's fine. That should level the aircraft off now. Yeah, there we go. Levelling off at 39,000 feet. And that's just getting us stabilised now. You will see the speed slowly increasing. Sun directly overhead now. Just going to put you on the nose of the aircraft now and zoom in on the terrain now as we track northwesterly. So you chill, relax and enjoy that view. I've got to step away from the cockpit for a few minutes, guys, speak to the cabin crew and you know, do the usual. I'll be right back. I'll leave you with that view off the nose of the aircraft and I'll speak to you very soon. Back on the flight deck. Hope you've enjoyed the views, nice and relaxing there at flight level 410. We must be in the cruise now. On 39,000 feet. I don't know why it's still rising. Why is it rising? I'll set it to 39,000. That shouldn't be rising. I'll set that to 0. That should bring us down. I don't know why we're still why is that still climbing? Anyway, we're roughly in the cruise, guys. We're pretty level. As we cross the coast of Norway, guys. So we're coming up on that very long lake, guys. You can just see that. We'll see it off the nose of the aircraft. As soon as we're on reaching, or it becomes very visible and clear, we'll begin our descent down to 14,000 feet by Genvu. There is the lake directly ahead of us. It's quite hazy, isn't it? It's not very clear at all. That is the lake I'm referring to. Nice and clear, no bumps, all good in the cruise. Okay, we'll begin our descent now. Saudi 318 cleared, flight level 140. 140 set and running. We'll bring the aircraft down at 2,500 feet initially. In fact, we'll make it 3,000 feet. And if we look on the PFD here, I'm just going to increase the ND range so you can see exactly where we will reach our assigned altitude. You'll see a bug. Bear with me a minute. We'll increase that to 160. So I've set our rate of descent to 3,000 feet per minute, which will get us down to 14,000. As far as I'm aware, this is the bug here that shows where we will reach our assigned altitude. So we're coming down a bit too fast. So I'm going to decrease that to 1,500 feet a minute, guys. Just bear with me. So decrease our rate of descent to 1,500 feet, and then let's see where that bug goes. That should move. Or is that our top of descent? That's around about 60 miles away. Just bear with me a minute, guys. can't be. Scene set and running. We'll get our terrain on. That'll show us any terrain on the way in. And on the map here, guys, as you can see, we've got Aluva slowly descending through 35,000 feet now. Aluva is the arrival today for Bergen, the ALV 3 We're expecting ILS Whiskey 35, and that is our track out over the ocean here. If we follow the line up around about 100 nautical miles away from our current position until we come out over the west coast of Norway, and then we'll be tracking north and then making a series of right then left turns down to the runway at Bergen. Just bring your attention to the top here. Ground speed 391 nautical miles, 63 knots headwind, which isn't great at all. That's why our ground speed is so slow, and that's at 278. That's the direction of the wind, so you can see the down arrow there. That shows you the wind is coming right on the nose of the aircraft. We're currently tracking around about 278 to be specific, heading direct to Luva, which is the arrival SID, and we're 104 nautical miles inbound. I also guesstimated that here, so these lines that you can see here on the PFD, so that's 40 nautical miles, 80 nautical miles and 120 nautical miles. I guessed around about 100 nautical miles until reaching Aluva, and I was pretty much bang on the money just off checking this distance visually, but that is actually telling us exactly 101.5 nautical miles inbound. Current local time is at 9:08 in the morning, and 32,000 feet now, and that's quite a good rate of descent. We'll look at that a bit closer as we get closer to Genvu, but we need to be at 14,000 feet by this waypoint here. And weather off in the distance where there is some slightly higher ground. It's been a relatively flat flight. When I say relatively flat flight, I mean not much in the way of terrain. So I have turned the terrain on. We'll see that on the PFD if there's any issues. Just turn our view that way, ever slightly. I always fly in the pilot's view, and it'd just be really strange to switch it over to the first officer's view. Should we have a look at that for a change? See what the first officer looks at. So we'll get that repositioned for where the first officer's viewpoint is. So that would be the first officer's view, guys. Or if we just take it back to exactly where his head would be, there's the seat. That's kind of roughly the first officer's view. It's a bit different, isn't it? Maybe we'll try a flight from the right hand side of the cockpit for a change. It's just because I'm so used to being in the captain's seat, or the captain's view I should say. It's just very alien to me to be on the right hand side of the aircraft. So let's go back to where we're comfortable. Just like that. Sound effects as well, guys. You get it all here on Jetstream TV. 7 minutes shy of the hour mark now on the stream. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We are in the descent right now as we've just crossed the eastern coast of Norway, tracking over to the west coast of Norway, where we're expecting to land in Bergen in around about 25 minutes time. Flesland, Bergen in Norway, expecting ILS runway Whiskey 35, and we're currently on an ALV 3 arrival. Flight time today should be about 55 minutes, so we took off. No, that's wrong. Flight sim's giving it wrong. It's just over the hour mark. The flight today, 359 nautical miles for the entire trip. Oh my god, it's warm, it's warm, it's warm, guys. But the terrain is getting slightly more interesting now as we come down through the levels. Flight level 270 now, heading direct Aluva, descending to 14,000 feet where we need to be on reaching by Genvu. Still got a 60 knot wind right on the nose of the aircraft. Wonder whether we can increase our speed there. The speed is managed, so that's probably why it's taken us so long. We didn't expect the headwinds that we've got, so obviously it's not going to be a 55-minute flight, is it? So that explains our slight delay coming into Bergen. Wonder whether we can increase our speed. See, it's on set to Mach at the moment anyway, so 285 on the knots. We'll just up our speed to 310, see if that can punch our way through. See if that make any difference. You can hear the auto throttle. Auto throttle is increasing now, so let's see if that picks up our ground speed ever so slightly. Yeah, you'll see the rate of knots. Ground speed is increasing there now as we hammer forward. That's better. That'll get us there much faster, guys, even though we've got a 61 knot headwind. Passing through 25,000 feet now for 14,000. And you can see now I've just increased the ND range to 80. Just to explain some of the controls, you see the ND range there, guys. That shows us how far we are. We're set to arc mode at the minute, and there you can see 80 miles selected on the ND range. Oh, that's just turned it to 20. We'll put it back to 80, and that gives us that view right there. Our ground speed is increasing nicely, 388 miles per hour now. Still got 61 knot headwind right on the nose of the aircraft, but we are gently descending. 24,000 feet for 14,000. Genvu is just over 60 nautical miles away, so that should tie in very nicely indeed. And the terrain again getting much better outside the aircraft. Lovely clear day. Sun just catching the cowling of the left-hand engine there. Nice views off the right-hand side as well. Hotel Zulu Alpha Sierra 99er is the aircraft ID for today's flight. It's the Airbus A318-100 CJ-CFM Legacy. Call sign Saudi Arabia 318. Gothenberg, Sweden to Bergen, Norway. Okay, so tracking out towards the coast now again on our descent. Either that or it's a very, very big lake we're looking at ahead of us. Let's just do some investigation off the nose cam. No, they're just islands. The ocean is shrouded in mist. We do have a lot of cloud on our arrival by the looks of things, guys, which will make it very nice visually on the way in. some of the white fluffy stuff to descend through. It's always nice, isn't it? As long as it's not bumpy, that's my main concern for the passengers. $20,000 feet now for 14. We've got the rate of descent pretty much bang on there at a rough guesstimate of 1,500 feet per minute on the descent. Stepping away from the aircraft, 2 minutes from the cockpit, guys. I'll be back with you momentarily. Back on the flight deck. A little bit of chop here now, nothing to worry about. Cabin crew will be notified shortly, and the passengers will be seated for landing anyway, as we're coming up to 14,000 feet, not far away from 10 now. Just increase the ND range slightly now. Bring that down to 40 miles, so we're around about 40 miles away from, or 37 nautical miles away from Aluva right now. That headwind's just decreased ever so slightly, around about 50 nautical miles now, bang on the nose at 276 degrees, 355 miles per hour on the ground speed now as we pass 17,100 for 14,000 feet, still at 310 knots, descending nicely. Everything is looking a-okay. We'll just keep our eye out for any chop. We'll have a look for any traffic shortly with TCAS, and hopefully we've got a nice smooth arrival into Bergen. 31 nautical miles almost for Aluva now. We're heading 277 degrees. Let's just check the map very quickly, see if there's any traffic around. Nothing in our vicinity right now, and there is an airport that we'll be passing over the top of, which is Karmøy, Haugesund, Echo November Hotel Delta, sorry, Golf Delta, ooh. Echo November Hotel Delta, Karmøy. I can't even read today. Haugesund, on the west coast of Norway. We'll be passing that just to our left before we make our right turn at Aluva, and if we look closer on the map, we'll be passing a couple of little islands on just as we come out over the sea, and then there's a little island to our left where we'll begin our right hand bank past Abmar and then up to Bavsa, tracking north and flying along the western seaboard of Norway up to Genvu. That's where we need to be at 14,000, guys. We'll be there a little bit earlier than that, but it's not the end of the world. No traffic to be worried about in any which way, shape or form. 14,000 feet, we're there slightly earlier. It's not the end of the world. We're only tracking over clear skies, there's no terrain, and over the ocean, so everything is okay. We'll keep it at 14,000 feet till Genvu, then we'll manage the descent in from there below 10. So there's that weather I was talking about. As we get closer to the ground, guys, we can see what we've got to deal with on the way in. Just over the hour mark of the stream now. Thank you once again from everybody here at Jetstream TV for joining us on this flight live with me, Tim's a Pilot, twitch.tv. Give us a like on both. Give us a like and a follow on twitch.tv, please. Tim's a Pilot. Tango India Mike Sierra Echo Romeo Papa India Lima Oscar Tango. That's me. Follow. Much appreciate. And I'm a poet and didn't know it. And again, Jetstream TV UK, guys, YouTube, just search that channel, we'll be there, clear as day. And give us a subscribe. And of course, hit the notification bell. We release content most days, now that things have changed here. The house move and everything else has changed, things are settling down and we're getting back into the streaming vibe, so be sure to check out all of the content that's ever been released on YouTube, Jetstream TV UK, and you'll have a thoroughly enjoyable time catching up, guys. So thank you once again for flying Jetstream TV. Right, 14,000 feet now, tracking out towards the west coast of Norway. They're the islands I was talking about. We're about to come to the end, the beginning of our arrival on the Aluva 3 Papa, and the islands out there that I mentioned. We'll be making a right turn shortly to Genver, then we'll continue our descent down from 14,000 feet for our arrival in Bergen. Let's check the FMC very quickly before we make our turn. Genvu 14,000, Auckland 10,000. Idava, we need to be at 3,000 feet, but Rivip 8,000, let's remember that, there may be high ground, so 8,000 by Rivip, 10,000 by Auckland. Okay, all good. 8,000 Rivip, so 10,000 Auckland and 8,000 Rivip, excellent. With a right hand turn imminent as we track out over the sea. There's that runway, guys, as you can see, that I mentioned, the airport. Just down below the wing. Just getting shrouded in cloud. There is our right turn. Heading direct to Genvo now. "13 nautical miles inbound Genvu," so we'll descend the aircraft to 10,000 feet now. 10,000 set and running. Keep that, and we'll make that 2,000 feet per minute on the descent rate. That's fine now. And as we are passing through 10,000, we will seatbelt signs on. Get the passengers sat down, and we'll decrease the airspeed now to managed. That should slow the aircraft. And we'll descend the aircraft again to 8,000 feet for the next waypoint. bring that down at 3,000 feet per minute, guys. Just lowering the nose of the aircraft ever so slightly. Just check that that's in the PFD. Yeah, there we are. Vertical speed minus 2,900, which should reflect exactly what is in the box. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. Thank you. "70 minutes into the stream, guys. Thank you very much indeed for being here and joining us on Jetstream TV. Much appreciated. On our final descent now into Bergen, Norway. About 70-80 kilometres away from the airport now, guys. We could do a direct routing here and go direct Rivip. Yeah, we'll do that, just shave a little bit of time off, why not? Let's play with the FMC a little bit. And we'll go direct Rivip. There we go, we'll hit that, and then we'll notice a subtle right hand turn back over the western coast of Norway. As soon as I hit that, we track right. So heading direct Rivip now, descending to 8,000 feet. Passengers are sat down, cabin crew have been alerted, and we are ready for the arrival, which we will hand fly manually. Should be an ILS 35 whiskey, which it will be anyway, guys, but we will manually hand fly the aircraft and land it manually today. Right, let's just check the FMC again for the altitudes. Rivip there, 8,000 feet, 3,000 feet by Idava. So again, we'll descend the aircraft. 3,000 feet. Set. As we look out over the west coast of Norway there, beautiful day today, just some light fluffy clouds, not causing us any issues with bumps on the way in, no turbulence. Rather magnificent views, wouldn't you say? So heading direct Rivhip, on reaching a slight right turn and then tracking Idava, where we need to be at 3,000 feet. We will descend that to 2,000 actually, because then the aircraft is just the airport, sorry, is just above sea level at Bergen. So we will do that now. We'll take it down to 2,000. Oh, and there's our high ground on the PFD, guys. We'll show you that very closely now. 2,000 feet is set. Continuing at our current rate of descent. 3,000 feet. Just show you that quickly before we get in over the terrain. So you can see our track. So the red areas on the map shows the high ground, obviously orange means it's slightly higher, and then green comes down to pretty much sea level. You can see now we're heading direct Rivip here. Yeah, 2,500 seen checked. Right turn to Idava, and then we'll get configured for the arrival. We're just shy of 30 nautical miles away from the airport, guys. Things that are going to happen very, very quickly from here on in. So let's focus on the arrival. Going to get some flaps in now. Flaps 1. Flaps 5. And flaps 10. Make sure the aircraft is in managed speed mode. And 80 knots now, 170 knots managed and holding. Excellent stuff. Five nautical miles inbound Rifip, 2,000 feet held. It's just helped to slow the aircraft down a little bit now. We won't put the rest of the flaps in until we're on finals. That makes for a wonderful view, guys, doesn't it? I'll have a screen grab of that. That's quite nice for the thumbnail, I think. In fact, we'll lose them flaps, guys. We're a bit nose high. Just dip the aircraft. Right turn at Rivip now, and then a left turn. The screenshot there, guys, got to be done. Sorry, is what it is. Is that the airport off in the distance, guys? Just under that cloud? No. Or is it? Can't really tell from here. Okay, runway 35. Yeah, we're tracking in now. Should be making subtle left-hand turns in, out, right. That's fine. Let's get everything else configured for landing. Flaps coming in. Gears coming down. Cabin crew, positions for landing, please. Take your seats for landing, thank you. And And there's the airport off in the distance, guys. You can just see that to the left hand side of our nose gate, off in the distance. It looks like we've got an aircraft on the runway there. I hope they've not changed which end of the runway the traffic is landing. No, it's just took off far end. Or is that coming directly towards us? We'll keep our eye on that, guys. Where's that aircraft going? Where's that aircraft? Right, I'm going to have to go into manual mode here, guys. Disconnecting the autopilot. Autopilot's coming out. Auto throttle disengaged and flying the aircraft. Could be an emergency to avoid here, guys. We've got traffic coming directly ahead. Just going to slow the aircraft, keep our eye on that, see where he's going. It looks like he's making a right hand turn. They may have changed the landing runway at the last minute. Yeah, he's gone. He's off to our left hand side. And he's up through the cloud now, that's okay.
$1,000.
1,000 feet checked. Slight crosswind here, guys. Remember, it was 60 nautical miles on the nose. There's a crosswind coming from right to left here, and I'm struggling with this using subtle rudder.
500.
We're okay. 500 checked. Continue to land. Checked.
Retard.
And on the ground at Bergen in Norway, guys. Welcome to Norway. Hope you enjoyed the flight with Jetstream TV today. That was pretty hairy on the way in then. We've missed that taxi oil. We're going to have to go to the end and deal with it that way. Just get them speed brakes in. Get rid of them flaps, we don't need them now. Easy. See the wind still pulling us. I'm vacated. At Alpha 2. Taxiing slightly faster than normal, guys. 83 minutes into the stream, almost an hour and a half this video. It's slightly longer than what we normally do here, but it's been a very enjoyable flight. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. As we taxi into stand now, coming taxiing onto the apron. and we'll put it just by the fuel stop. There we go, guys. Our parking brake set. And there we are on the ground at Bergen, guys, where the weather looks like it was about to make a turn for the worst. So we got down just in time. There we have it, guys. So I'll say thank you very much indeed. 85 minutes, just shy of the hour-and-a-half mark. So from myself, Tim's a Pilot, twitch.tv live. Follow us there, follow us, subscribe, Jetstream TV UK. We will see you on the next one. Thank you so much indeed for coming along. Take care, we'll see you very soon.